Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are pruning blueberries today. We are in the blueberry patch. As you guys can see, we're gonna teach you guys how to basically go from this mess of a bush or bushes to this. So stay tuned and we'll teach you guys how to get her done. So to help you guys out a little bit more, I have some different age bushes for you guys. So we're gonna start off with this young one right here. I'll go ahead and move you guys to it. We got this young bush right here. It's about 2 years old, and basically the first couple years on blueberry bushes, you really want to just kind of shape it and keep it in like a vase shape. If you could imagine like an upside down vase, that's kind of how we want to prune this. As far as tools go, unless you got big old like 40-year-old blueberry bushes, you're probably get away with only using just some basic pruners. And I'll go ahead and put the link in the description where I got these, or actually you can just go ahead and scan this QR code right here and it'll pick you up some. Just basic Fisker pruners, but sometimes you might need a little bit bigger lopper type pruners. So yeah, got that. Also, just like every other pruning video, you got some isopropyl alcohol mixed with water, 70%, just to clean off and keep things clean and tidy. With this bush, guys, I planted this. This is a Blue Jay or Blu-ray. Sorry, Blu-ray blueberry. It's a young guy. As you can see, it does have, let me see if I can get the focus. It does have fruit buds on it, has a couple. We do not want to let this fruit this year, so we wanted to let it grow more, because blueberries, they'll produce for you for your whole life. The blueberries are probably gonna outlive you. So you gotta really have that perennial mindset, I call it. The mindset of delayed gratification, okay? I know that it's hard to prune out the fruit buds. You're so excited to get your berries, but I promise, guys, it is best for the bush. So what we're gonna do is our first cut is gonna be kind of a shaping cut, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come through and I'm just gonna prune the middle of this out, okay? And I'm gonna come through and get all this little scraggly stuff. Any crossing branches down here, there's one that was crossing right here. Any crossing branches, we're gonna get out of here. And anything in the center, really. We don't really want anything in the center kind of crowding the center up. And we'll prune this to an outward facing bud. And if you don't know what I mean by an outward facing bud, you can see there's all these buds here, right? And an outward facing being that whenever you cut it to, want to say this bud right here, it'll grow a branch straight out. And you want to cut it to an outward facing so it grows away from the center of the bush. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut to right here. Of course, we got our garden companion here. They'll burn something. And that is about the gist of a small bush. So that's about all you'll do the first year. Let's move on to a little slightly older bush. Alrighty, guys, here we have about a 4-year-old bush, I would say. We planted these last year, but by the way, you can go check out and learn what I did when I did plant these. We got these in some half whiskey barrels here. They're about 4 years old. I got 2 here, so they're about the same. So this is where you really got to start making big decisions, okay? With the 1-year-old bush, there's not really too many big decisions to make, but here, I'll go ahead and bring you guys closer. So here, we have all these buds here, okay? You see that? See all these buds? We have all the buds. Every one of these little buds right here, every one of them, on all these branches, will become about 6 to 8 berries. But the thing is, guys, is when we have a young bush like this, would be the first year you would let it fruit, around year 3, year 4. But we have a lot of stuff in the middle here, and we don't want to let all these buds produce berries, okay? I know it's counterintuitive to what you would think about when you think about fruiting bushes. You would be like, in common sense, you'd be like, okay, all these buds, more fruit, right? Wrong. If you leave all these buds here and you let them all fruit, you'll end up with a bunch of berries, but they'll all be very small. And it'll put a lot of stress on the bush for the new growth. Because really, we're thinking years down the line when we think about fruit bushes. We're thinking 20 plus years, okay? So what's the big deal if we prune out most of these fruit buds? We want to really prune out about 40% of all these fruit buds here and create a vase shape. So immediately when you come up to a bush like this, you want to look for, again, dead, diseased, dying wood, always first. Always, no matter what. So there is quite a bit of dead tips here, but I'm going to start at the base. So the base here, we have a lot of crossing branches, all right? We have a branch here that's crossing into this branch. So what we'll do is we'll take it out completely. Okay, we'll take that out. We have another branch that's crossing down here. We'll go ahead and just take this out too. If you guys see where I'm cutting right here at the base, like always, like what I do with all the fruit bushes. Okay, we'll keep going through and getting all this stuff out. And basically, I'm trying to open up this center here. So like this, all this, look at this mess. You have all these branches, they're all crisscrossing. Yes, they all have fruit buds. No, we are not gonna keep them all. And by the way, if you guys are wondering about the variety, this is a Duke. So when I'm looking at the bush, I immediately see older wood. So anything, on a blueberry, the older wood will have this barky, white kind of barkiness that's always older than 2 years old. 1 year old growth would look something like this. Look something like this. Red cane, new, just grew last year, okay? So what we're gonna do is we are gonna leave a mixture of old growth and newer growth, okay? Older growth and newer growth and baby growth, okay? We want a good mixture. We don't just want all this old stuff because it's towards the end of its fruiting life, right? We want a lot of this younger stuff right here. Like this right here is a perfect cane, right? This right here is older and there's a lot of crossing branches here. So I'm gonna go ahead and prune that out right there. And any of this small stuff right here in the middle, all this stuff's going. You have all this weak, spindly stuff here, okay? You see this? This is all weak, spindly stuff. Yeah, it has a few fruit buds, but I mean, is it really worth it? Because look, it's crossing into one of our nice branches here, right? So we're just gonna come right at the collar and cut it out, okay? Boom. Crossing branches. Take that out. Take this out. All these crossing branches and leaving some old stuff. All this little spindly stuff we don't need because that's not going to produce many berries. And even if it does, they won't be very big. You know, we want the biggest, most quality fruit. That's why we do backyard fruiting orchards. We have this cane right here that's just a big mess, okay? But when you start getting towards the top, we can make the decision, because this does have a lot of nice fruiting buds on it, to keep this cane for this year. But no matter what, this cane will come out next year. So not hard to make a decision sometimes. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is we're just gonna take this whole branch out right here. Okay, we're gonna take it all the way out to the base right here. Okay, because it's all spindly up here. It's in the middle of the bush, and I wanna keep these younger branches and get rid of this older one here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come down and cut it. Boom. We just removed all that. This is about what you want the bush to look like, guys. Open center, okay? We left some fruit buds. The first year you let it fruit, you don't want too much fruit. You really are pruning at this age and letting some fruit, but you're really pruning to make sure that this thing sends up a bunch of new growth, because pruning just basically lets the bush know that it needs to send up more growth, and then that'll help the bush in the future. Let's move to the next one. All right, guys, this is the last of the younger bushes. And this one's interesting because you have a huge cane here. Old cane that has so many fruit buds on it. And then you have two smaller canes and like a couple younger little guys. Like when I look at this, I see this cane that grew and it like grew sideways. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take that all the way out because there's no reason for us to have this in here. I don't think it'll ever produce anything good for us. And so this one, we're gonna take a lot of these little stuff out. We're gonna deal with a lot of the spindlies because we don't want any spindly wood. Like any of these tiny little branches, yeah, they have fruit buds on them, but how much fruit can that little tiny branch really hold? If it holds any fruit, it's not gonna be very good quality, right? So let's get it out of there. And I'm just gonna go through and I'm gonna prune a lot of this wood out here in the middle and stuff. Open up that center. All right, make a big cut right here. So this is an old cane right here, but it has a branch off right into the middle. So what I'm gonna do, just to open it up, is we're gonna cut right there. And I'm going through them and get all the spindly out. It just doesn't need to be in there. You see this broom sign? That is a bad broom sign. One of the worst broom signs. All right, guys, we're just going through. We're getting all this spindly out here. We do not need this stuff. Crossing. Look at this branch. This branch is crossing into this one. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna take this whole thing out. Whole thing out. And you see what I'm doing? I'm really opening up the center of this bush right here. Like this little, look at this. Look, it has 3 fruit buds on it. But dude, I barely tapped it and just, yeah. It's coming out. And by the way, guys, if you guys are wanting the variety, this one's Elliot. We are here with my old bushes, my pride and joy, okay? Look how big they are. We really have 4 bushes here, believe it or not. Here, I'll get you guys a better look at it. As you can see, we got big old bushes here, okay? Old bushes. These are 6+ years old. I planted them 5 years ago, but we're gonna go ahead and start like we do all the other ones. Dead, disease, dying. So I'm gonna sit here and talk about it. I feel it's important. With bushes like this, it can be easy to get overwhelmed. All right, I'm just gonna let you guys know, if you guys can go through and get all the dead, diseased, and dying out, all the black stuff, kind of like this, it's like, you know, it just breaks off. Go through and get all that out first. All right, and then follow the steps. Okay. For this bush, we're probably gonna need some bigger loppers. Okay, so we'll go ahead and clean them off, and I know immediately, just sitting here, I know that I have a couple older canes I need to get out. So let me move the camera for you guys. Immediately from looking at this bush here, when I get down here at the bottom, I see a lot of old canes that aren't gonna produce anything anymore. So I see this cane right here. I follow it all the way up. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I follow this cane all the way up here, okay? And I see that at the top, when I follow it up, look what's at the top. Look at that. All dead. Not one fruit bud on this. So this cane, as we know of, it is pretty much dead. So we're gonna go ahead and take it out and I'll show you. So this is the cane right here that I was talking about. All right, follow all the way up. I showed you the dead. When you go to cut a big old cane out like this, and as you see, it's in the middle of the bush. It's kind of everywhere. It's not doing anything. I always pull the soil back a little bit, or the mulch in this case. And I just go to the bottom. Get her out, boom. And we'll put her in a pile with the other prunings. And also while I'm down here, I see another old cane that has no chance of going again. Okay, so it's right here, this cane right here. It goes up, has the same deal. Pretty much no fruit buds at the end of it. It has spent its life, so we will hopefully get it out. All right, there's two big canes out. All I'm doing is coming through and looking at the tops of these branches here. So these branches have fruited for a while, and you can always tell when a branch has basically spent its life fruiting is when you have all this spindly crazy stuff. That means it grew up, it got pruned, it branched out, it fruited, pruned, branched up, fruited. So all these old canes here, I'm taking out a lot of old because there is nothing here that's gonna fruit, okay? So let's go ahead and take this big cane out right here. Sometimes you're gonna need some big old loppers, all right? So we're gonna get down here. I'm gonna try to get this thing around. We're gonna move some of these branches out of the way. Gotta be careful not to cut anything else. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut right above this branch that branched out right here. Because there is some fruit buds. So I cut right here because there is some fruit buds coming off this branch, which I will trim up here in a second. All right guys, so we just pruned some old stuff out of this right side here, and then we're moving to the left side. There's the little guy over there we pruned at the beginning. But we're gonna go through and we're gonna get some of this older wood out. So when I'm selecting these canes, I'm just looking at old, like this one. Just like this one's old, obviously. So I follow it up, and if I follow it up and I see stuff like this, dead, bye-bye. So let's go ahead and delete this one. Deletion. All right guys, see, I just made a few big cuts of some big wood, and as you can see, like this is what it looked like before, and we're not even done yet, and this is what it looks like right now. So we're opening her up. We're going through, we got some big canes that we pruned out, and we're going through and getting her done. So we're here over here on this side, and now kind of what I'm doing, I'll lift you guys up a little bit. What I'm doing now is I'm going through the top and finding, again, a trend with any of these pruning videos, crossing branches, and dead disease dying, okay? That's what I'm going through and doing. Over here, there's a crossing branch down here. There's some right here. And then look at this. This is an old cane, has some fruit buds. Do I want to let it fruit this year? I mean, this bush right here only has a few canes, but it looks like that one has more fruiting buds. So I'm thinking, you just got to go through and make decisions, guys. Like this thing right here, this little bottom branch here, I mean, it ain't ever gonna do nothing, so I'm gonna cut that out. This is a crossing branch right here with this old branch. So since this is an old branch that's crossing, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this whole thing out. And we'll leave this new cane, take this out. We'll leave this new cane to be our replacement cane for the old cane we just took out. Burn some. Stop it. What are you doing? And then I'll leave this cane this year, and I'll just go through and prune it back, clean it up. I'll move you guys a little closer here. All right, guys, we got Brucey here. We have one last bush to prune up, so I'm gonna go through and get all this bull crap out. So I'm gonna go ahead, guys, and I'm gonna take out this old branch here, because this old branch is not doing anything for us. Usually I'd leave more older branches, but since it's not doing anything for us, we're just gonna take it out. If you guys should be able to see the trend here. Basically, it's just crossing branches, old unproductive wood, anything like that comes out. And this is what you should look like when you're done, okay? Now, I pruned a lot more out than maybe you guys would, just because I want to promote some new growth. But as you can see, when we go up to the tips, fruit buds, and then sometimes I'll leave younger canes for, you know, future fruiting canes, because this is cut here, it'll branch out, create some fruit maybe next year. Got some fruit buds here. Got a whole array of fruit buds here. When we zoom out, and this is what it looks like, guys. Boom. It's just nice to get out here, guys, and get out in the sun. It's warm out today, late winter, February, and get to pruning. Many more pruning videos come soon. I decided to just make all different pruning videos, as far as, you know, the blackberries, grapes, blueberries, apples, etc. But thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something in this video. I'm gonna get to pruning, get to doing the apples next. And we're gonna burn these prunings, by the way, guys. We burn them. Well, if you guys are wondering, I always burn the prunings. By the way, guys, we are monetized now. So I have member tiers. I have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. If you guys could join my channel members, I promise there'll be some members only content and a shop coming out soon. It'll be well worth the $2.99 or whatever it is a month, okay? I appreciate you guys. If you guys enjoy videos like this, I got a whole playlist of garden videos right here. Big stuff coming for 2026, you guys. I hope you guys learned something new. Till next time. Peace.